Cookie Chong. So recently I built a slightly bigger project, which is a very fun, whimsical style, apartment style, personal website that I built up. Actually, it's more like an art portfolio I built up for myself with a collection of artworks that I created in the past. But this time, I have written down the meanings and story behind most of my artworks in categories, as well as some DIY stuff and craft stuff I made in the past, and I put it into collections and categories in my personal website. And also some of the bedroom pictures I've lived in the past when I was moving between places and living between cultures, and some thoughts about why I think decorating bedroom was so important for me, even though I got to move over and over again across different places throughout the years, and attaching with some fun mini project that I built up before, which was the Aura box, which is a selfie booth in Cookieland art style with Cookieland sticker frames that you can play around with. So without further ado, let me just show you how I built up my personal website and give you a little tour around this Cookieland apartment. So now let me give you a little fun tour about the Cookieland apartment. So here there's like background music, then you can click on to listen when you're touring around this little whimsical pastel looking apartment. So here first start with About Me section, which is a little corner about the creator, which is myself, of this Cookieland. So I'm a person who lives between cultures and cross domain, which lives between two worlds, which is a corporate role and the artist role. And I also form deep emotional attachment to all the things around me, like the room and little objects I created. And so oftentimes I feel like I'm a very contradicting person, since I need to move over and over again, but still I still crave a safe space belonging of my own. So that's why I built this little website in the apartment that makes me feel safe and cozy wherever I move. So here is a little intro, and here are some social media links about me that if you're interested can click on it. And let's go back to the apartment for the tour. So let's first go to the first stop of the bedroom. So here I used the little dream attic space illustration, and there are 3 sections of this bedroom, which is the cookie record player, the attic window, and the bed. So for the bed, and here I put the illustration story I created before, and which is the food illustration story here, the little dream attic space, and the outline bear story. And here's a bedtime thought, which is like a diary version of kind of showcasing why decorating bedroom is important for me, some of my inner voices and inner thoughts about how I keep myself sane while having a hard time adapting to different places over and over again. And just by creating a virtual world belonging to my own and trying to romanticize seeing my life in the way I imagine my life would be. Yeah, and this is a little article about bedrooms and myself and all the emotion I built up across different places and throughout the years. And here let's go through the attic window. For the attic window, I chose to only put pictures because window is like a view that expands to another role. So here for artist window, I put all the pictures, not all the pictures, just most of them, like the rooms I was staying when I was living in the US. I carry the same stuff with me all the time but it felt different to decorate a different space with old stuff. So every time you can see there's same stuff appearing in different rooms, but somehow it gave a different vibe that either whimsical, playful, or nostalgia or cozy. And here is the section of the room, also with all the old stuff I carry along with me after I moved back to China. And there are lots of stuff, and there are the pictures just showing a maximalist artist room. And here is the little studio apartment I moved after I moved to Shenzhen. Since I'm working here, so I moved to a little studio apartment, which is very small, 35 square meter, but I still choose to decorate it in a way that as cozy and as organized as possible. So yeah, here we finished a quick tour about the attic window and the bed. Let's go to Cookie Record. You can turn off the music. For Cookie Record, which are some albums I made based on the poems I've written about the emotions of as an individual who lives in between worlds, and I try to process emotion of trying to figure out who I am as I move between places, and it's very hard to trying to be the same as people who are around me. So in between file is about to process all the emotion that figure out who I was and what I'm becoming. And here the kitchen corner part is the album which turns the little talk shows of the imaginary friends I have in my mind into fun little song. And we can just click listen to album. It will go to the page where I put most of my imaginary scene in the Cookieland little kitchen corner. And let's go back to the apartment, and let me give you the next tour of the kitchen corner. So the kitchen corner where I put the cooking recipe that I'm proud of, that I experimented so many times, and this is my very proud bakery cake, soy cream box cake that I illustrated the recipe a long time ago. And there is a very good savory, sweet, creamy chiffon cake, and here's the cooking recipe. And here's the real food, which is all the food, most of the food I experimented during the weekends when I was living at the apartment. Since I rarely spend time outside, I love to stay indoors, so I just experimented different cooking all the time. And there's some baked stuff that I was proud of. There are cookie chocolate dogs, matcha alien scones, and Nutella just strawberry cake, and cookie dogs. And brunch set, which are some brunch I made, experimental mixed culture brunch I can say, such as a squid ink pasta shrimp roll, and some matcha dorayaki, and some Chinese burger, and dinner set, and this the fun Bichon dog rice with mapo tofu and Cookie Monster curry rice. Yeah, this is a quick tour about the food in Cookie Cafe. And here's for the craft food. For the craft food, I'm mostly about some crafts I made that put them in categories such as the snack bag charms. Snack bag charms are some snack themed based bag charms I made in the past, and they're either very candy core, I can say, like Sesame Street chocolate pop, chocolate beans, munchlax, and blueberry snacks, and egg tart, and felt corner, which are most of the felt crafts I made in the past. They're more about breakfast and food and desserts, and Tamagotchi crafts, which are the theme-based crafts I made with Tamagotchi, but in my own art style, like Tamagotchi felt crafts, Tamagotchi cream soda, and also the kind of Tamagotchi and Cookieland felt crafts and cream, different version of cream soda. And company food craft, which I got inspiration from the snacks or breakfast from company store, and I made it into little keychains, little candy versions, or some croissant or pastry version. And yeah, this is the little corner about the craft food. And let's go back to the apartment, and here's the gallery room. Here I chose my illustration, which is a stationery store that Cookie Chang opened in Cookieland with pastel everything. Pink pastel tablecloths with blue pastel carpet, and like a purple bookshelf with sandwich book here, and also like sky theme outside view and blue floor wines hang on the wall. So I made this view because I imagine if I open the stationery store, it will be up in the sky, which doesn't happen in reality, but it can happen in Cookieland. Yep. And if we step inside, which is a gallery room, and here's a little intro about me, the artist, and I'm an artist who lives in between two roles, the structural corporate role, with all the engineering stuff, and the free imagined world of art that I created. And I'm an artist that entirely self-taught. I'm not majoring in art, but I learned art throughout my whole life by practicing piece by piece to find a way to more accurately express who I am, or to more accurately depict the imaginary world I am dreaming for. My art style inspired by Rebel Host animation Magic Girl aesthetics, and all my illustration try to capture the small moments I have in my mind or imaginary scenes, a small talk show between little monster creatures I have in this little virtual Cookieland. If you're interested, you can follow the Instagram that I put most of my art on. And here I put most of my art in category such as girls. Here I did a little intro about what's the meaning behind each artwork, and here the series about what it means and how it feels like to being a girl living in like kind of quiet, loud, conflicting world of who we want to be as girls, and how the outside world expectation gave us as a girl living and growing up in East Asia. And here like just some more thoughts about I want to give power to all the girls who grow up in East Asia who want to be themselves instead of following the expectation and standard of being quiet and calm and accommodating to people. And I use different art. It's a bittersweet pastel tone to express a little bit positive attitude towards how to be a girl while fighting against the outside world. And if you're interested, here are more details about the artwork. And this is like a uniform modification artwork that I like, which is more like a rebellion kind of signal of I'm not conforming to all the standards. I want to be myself to freely express as an artist, and here's a uniform modification is the idea I want to express. And if you're interested, you can see more of the description of all this art. And this is a part section about emptiness and happiness, which more like retrospection I have about the role as being a person who wanna live in the real world, and also following my own dreams in the virtual worlds. And there are some comics about self-worth, and here are another comics about conflicting idea of enduring hardship and trying to be myself, that I wouldn't talk too much about it. If you're interested, you can click on my website to read about the comics. And here I'll show you more about like Cookieland characters I created throughout the years. They're like very first version of art style I have. I created Big V Cloud, Bittergourd, bread chunk, kiki chunk, cookie dog, cookie dumpling, true dough, and there are more characters I will keep updating very soon. And the Cookieland Apartment is an imaginary vision blended with real life scenarios I have, which are the vision I have in mind about like dream space I want to create it, or the dream space I'm currently building. Or some apartment life like eating and sleeping during the weekends, and dream balcony view I wish I have, the weekends brunch, dressing room, like a winter kotatsu setting, like a pastel kitchen I wish I have, and sneaking some ice cream at the midnight near the fridge, like a dream cafe I want to study in, like a dream bathtub with a cherry blossom view, dream stationery store I wish I owned. And my ultimate dream is to own like a stationery store of my own art. And the doggies in the fridge, in like a pastel fridge in Cookieland, the busy kitchen bakery that Cookie Chom is working on in Cookieland. So here I take a little mini Cookieland apartment tour. Here Cookieland slice of life are more like Cookie Chom daily life with friends, when they're taking walk as a parade or Christmas parade delivering gifts or presents, or Cookie Chong go out for a picnic or go to an onsen trip, going to cafe hopping, going to China to have Cantonese food, and having a melted yogurt at the yogurt shop, and dreaming about hot dog sky, and having Friendsgiving, and visiting a Japanese restaurant at like Blue Cat Nico Diner. And this is part of the Cookieland life, Cookieland food, which I blended most of the Cookieland character with the real food I have in life and make it into both virtual and real combination set. And here's like a fall theme food and snacks version. Here, Cookieland with a hint of Chinese. Since I'm Chinese, I wanted to blend some Chinese element in my own illustration, which I use like Cantonese breakfast and dessert setting and Chinese restaurant, wonton noodle with a soy milk, and yum cha, which is Cantonese brunch, and Mid-Autumn Festival, Peach Blossom Blend, which was a poem that I really like, which is Chinese poem which depicting like a very imaginary whimsical pink world of cherry blossom land. And then I scroll to childhood theme, which is like the nostalgia childhood stuff carry with me when I was growing up. And I illustrated Sesame Street with Cookie Chong character since I grew up with Sesame Street. And yep, and this is the part with illustration combined with a lot of what I'm working on the engineering side. When I was in master program, I was studying AI, and then I was reading papers, but I tried to understanding all the architecture in a graphical way, and the only way that made the study fun was to imaginary all the mathematical equation and architecture in the bakery setting. So I just like having the metaphors of baking cookies or making mochi for those kind of big learning model architecture, as well as making matcha crepe cake, which is very funny. Yeah. And yeah, and let's go back to apartment. And the last part is the playroom, which I store some of the which one of the project I'm building also, which is the Aura Box, a selfie booth I'm building can capture your emotions daily. And here I like to put the pastel glittering ring here. I think it's very fun, which is show the whimsical playful style in this playroom. For the Aura Box, as I demonstrated before, was like an emotion and aura capture selfie booth, and also can generate a little monster creature that can play around on also in this website. And yeah, and this is a very quick tour about this Cookieland apartment. If you're interested, you can click on my website and view more of the details about artworks or crafts or pictures I put on this website. find the tone of Cookieland, which I want to build is like a dreamy, artistic, interactive apartment layout. The reason I chose apartment is that because everything I recorded in my life, like food, crafts, and bedroom decoration, bedroom pictures, they're all like very quiet, introverted lives. So I feel like apartment is a pretty good layout to represent who I am as a personal website. And I want the overall style to be soft, dreamy, and slightly nostalgic, with pastel medium tone, with pastel blue sky as the image I have in my mind. And I want to feel like a hand-drawn illustrated world. And so I want to have 6 main pages of a website of landing page, which is like apartment map blueprint. And inside the blueprint there are bedroom, kitchen, gallery room, playroom, about corner, which put more of the personal information about myself. And so I just crafted up, I wrote down all the details about what I want to put in each section. For example, for the bedroom, I want to put like an image gallery of my bedroom photos and some articles writing stuff about why I think decorating bedroom matters so much to me. Even though I don't live in one place for long term, I still chose to decorate it. And there's a window section, which is like a bedroom view. I can see outside world, which will embedded the story, illustration story I have, and pictures of bedroom. And the CD record player I put in the virtual bedroom, I will put the songs I made. And so here I want to put in the bedroom. In the kitchen corner, I would just put most of the food, like bakeries, pastry I made in the past, and some crafts I made about food theme in the past, and some recipes I'm proud of that I experimented with a lot of time and I finally succeeded. And I will put all of them in the kitchen corner. For the gallery room, it will more about my inner world and inner voices, and which I use illustration to express who I am and all the thoughts I have in my mind. And here for the gallery room, it will start with artist intro. I'll put all my art into categories, and they're like each art piece with the intro of it. And for the playroom, here I will just embedded my Aura box project I built before, which was a selfie booth I mentioned previously. And about section, which is about me explaining who I am and why I created this website, and also the links I have. So I just craft up everything in this Google Docs and dump them into ChatGPT to ask to make it into like a doc that easier to build a website with. The website app I was building was called Lovable, which is this website, which is this a platform that I used to keep chatting by prompting to build the website. And yeah, and this is about a small intro about how I built this website. And yeah, that's the end of the Cookieland apartment tour. It's a quick tour since I don't want to rambling too much. But if you're interested, welcome to tour around this Cookieland virtual apartment, and I will build up something more fun later on to keep updating this little website. Bye! Thank you for watching.